All right, there's a lot to talk about when it comes to political news this morning, especially with what happened over the weekend, what politics and politicians have to say. So, is Bernie Sanders finally going to actually endorse Hillary Clinton? When is that going to happen? Also, is Donald Trump getting a new VP? And who is this person? A lot of people saying maybe this is Christie's last chance. Let's get into the conversation, Scott.
All right, want to welcome in political analyst Jeannie Zaino and Steve Adubato. Guys, thanks for coming in. Let's first talk about the events of last week. You heard the comments from both political candidates. We saw Donald Trump with a social media post looking, and to me, I think speaking very un-Donald Trump-like in his approach. Talk to me about, Steve, to start with you, talk to me about Trump's approach to what went down last week.
Let's just hope and pray, Scott, that this is the Donald Trump that we see over the next few months, because he had an opportunity to do the right thing, to say the right thing, to be measured, to be reasoned. That is not what I have come to expect from him, and most of us have come to expect from him. But his better angels, if you will, stepped in, or let's just say someone who told him what to say, and he did it. I give him credit for that. I don't know if he can stay on that script. I don't know if he can stay that measured, but we need this, particularly at a time like this when tensions are so high, when people have such powerful and deep emotions. That is what is required of a presidential candidate and potentially a president.
Yeah, well, let's talk about also, what happened last week, Thursday, when he went to Washington, D.C. I think he got a big wake-up call by many Republicans who really didn't support him. That, and also the fact that everyone's looking to who's his VP, and also Hillary Clinton. Is Bernie going to finally give her the moment that she needs?
Yeah, and we saw with Donald Trump, we saw two of his potential nominees for VP from the Senate, Bob Corker and Joni Ernst, both pull their names out of contention, which speaks to the fact that he is not making inroads in the Republican Party in the way that he should. But, I do think we're hearing, we don't know for certain, that on Tuesday in New Hampshire, Bernie Sanders will finally endorse Hillary Clinton. A little bit late, but it's going to probably happen, although he lost the platform fight over the weekend. The big move seems to be her move on funding public college education. She's moved more closer to it, not fully funded, but closer, and that seems to have sealed the deal.
Listen, we're so close to two conventions, and it's like the craziest election ever that the Republican Party isn't completely behind their presumptive nominee. And even the Democrats, it feels like the country is becoming a little unhinged, even at a time when we're looking to our politicians to maybe give us some solace. What do you think?
Well, I'll tell you what, at a time that the country is so fragmented and fractured, it is amazing that this election, and Jeannie and I were talking about this, there has never been an election. People say, oh, it's the lesser of two evils. That's usually an expression.
Yeah.
That has never been more true than in this election.
Yeah.
I have never seen poll after poll where people say, isn't there someone else? The answer is no. This is it. These are the two choices. And let me tell you something. I'm sorry. I know it's early in the morning, Jeannie.
But it's true.
And it's Monday.
It's true.
And I'll tell you what. There is no Monday morning quarterbacking this or Monday night football on this where you get back to look at it, Scott, and say, we can replay this thing. This is it. Nobody's coming into this race again. Like it or not, it's Hillary Clinton with all of her problems. The trust. People say, oh, look at the lack of trust. Well, look at the lack of trust for Donald Trump. This is it, and you better look at these candidates and ask yourself, who do I trust less, who do I trust more? And that's it.
And also their cabinet is going to be huge, really, because those are the people that are going to be able to support and lift. And I think when you hear the VP candidates, that's when we'll see more of a crystallizing form as to who we might elect. Your thoughts?
And we're going to probably see that, as you mentioned, the Republican convention next week. We're going to see a VP from Trump certainly in the next week or so.
Who do you think is leading the pack there?
I still think it is going to be a Newt Gingrich type. I really do. And I know that doesn't ring well for people, but I do think Newt Gingrich is in the running. I don't think Chris Christie. I think he will be the transition. And I think over the weekend, Flynn had a tough weekend over the weekend.
Yeah, he did. I have all due respect for Flynn, but I got to tell you, because as a military person, service to the nation, here's the problem when you talk about military people. Flynn turned around and said, I don't want to talk about abortion. I don't want to talk about these issues. And I'm saying, well, politics might not be your chosen profession.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't go into that and say, I don't want to talk about those things.
Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg said said over the weekend. She's moving to New Zealand if Trump gets in. Now, I'm no political expert, but I don't think that's a good endorsement for Donald Trump from her.
It might get crowded in New Zealand.
Yeah, well, you know, we still have to elect our candidate and our president in November, so we'll have to wait and see. Like you said, conventions right around the corner. It's going to get juicy. Steve, Jeannie, thank you so much for coming in. Keep us up to date on all the headlines and what you're thinking. We want to know. Download our Pix 11 app and click on the Morning News tab. It is 7:18.